Hey everyone, welcome back to another Anime Kingdom review. See by the title below, yes, this is on episode 11 of Eromanga-Sensei, and yes, I know I'm sorry that this is several days late. If you haven't been, up to date with my videos, it's been kind of hectic ever since I came back from my trip. I've been behind, but finally, after this review at least, I will finally be caught up to at least the current week. So that's definitely a lot of weight lifted off my shoulders, but I've been trying to honestly make this review for quite a while, but I just want to explain for you guys if you guys think like he's, I don't seem as excited as I normally do about a certain thing, or I kind of seem like I'm sick. Well, that's because, yeah, I'm not really feeling too well right now. This huge massive headache, but I wanted to get this, video out to you guys as soon as possible. So fighting on through it, But yeah, how did I feel about episode 11? It pretty much went how I expected, considering what we saw in the preview and what we saw in the previous episodes. The previous episodes being episode 9 focused all on Elf, and episode 10 being focused on Muramasa, and with their love confessions in there as well. While we didn't get a love confession in this one, it pretty much was all about the backstory, all about their past and everything, and kind of how they first met. And we've been wondering for quite a while, at least I have been, when did they start falling for each other, considering like for the longest time they've pretty much been kind of sure he makes her food and stuff like that, but she pretty much locked herself in her room for like years or something along those lines. And it's like, where did this connection come from? Why do they all of a sudden start having feelings for each other? Is it something that happened before? And I know there's also some people out there that's like, I don't really like incest, and sure, they're not blood related, but they're kind of pretty much been raised to be siblings and everything. But in this episode, you've kind of finally see the reasons why they have started to why they started to fall for each other, and kind of the connection that they've had ever since before they even their parents even got married. So before they even met, they kind of had a connection there. They pretty much without Sagiri, pretty much Masamune would not be where he is now as a writer. She as well, Sagiri would not be where she is as an artist without him. And I actually really did enjoy that aspect of the episode, kind of showing that it wasn't like some spontaneous random thing where like, oh, I love my sister, oh, I love my brother kind of thing, This is kind of something that seemed to have, like, I guess you could say the red string of fate in a way, that they've been connected ever since that moment that, she first saw his first story. And this is one part I kind of did not like, to be honest, because in a way it takes away from what Muramasa is. Sure, it's not going to change the fact that she's still one of his, most beloved fans, I guess you would say. She sent, like, because of her fan mail, he was able to overcome many different things and push forward, not unlike obviously as well like how Sagiri is. But it feels like Sagiri, the way they did it kind of to take away from what Muramasa has, is making that she's actually the #1 first fan that he's ever had, before he even started to really write that much. He started off with that one story, and she was pretty much the only person commenting on it, liking it, and kind of also giving illustrations. So she was actually giving illustrations to him before he even knew who she was. So that's pretty cool. I mean, I guess, yeah, I can see why she enjoyed his kind of stories. He's a kid, the way his, Masamune the hero kind of stories. It was pretty funny, honestly, when she started talking about it and like acting it out, and he was full on like, no, because I could totally understand how he feels with that, considering it doesn't even have to be with writing, it doesn't have to be with drawing, it could be anything. When you first start off doing something and then you see it again later on after years of doing this one certain thing, and now, like, for me, I don't consider myself a pro at making these reviews and everything, but I definitely consider myself a lot better than how I was at the beginning. And I'm not gonna lie, I do cringe when I watch my first videos and everything, how I'm kind of monotone and robotic, like I am literally reading from like straight from a list or something, and I'm just like saying what happened, kind of pretty much just not really a review or a discussion. It's more of what I used to do, is kind of just say what happened in the episode. That was practically what it was. And I'm not gonna lie, if someone all of a sudden like popped it up and was like, oh my gosh, look at this, I would be like, oh no, I don't want to watch this. I can't watch this through the whole thing, So I totally get why he was like that, and it was pretty damn funny, considering she literally was reenacting the whole scene and everything. Not to mention, of course, throughout those scenes, you did get, all you Sagi fans, you got some fan service here and there with her in a bikini, and, Masamune being a complete, like, you know, his normal pervert self when Sagiri starts to undress and everything, thinking that she was naked when obviously she was not. She had a bikini on and everything. It was also cute, the whole thing with her pretty much wanting to say welcome home to him. At first she got scared, but later on she was able to do it. So that was all pretty damn nice and cool. It was like leading up to what the, you know, obviously the flashback and everything, you know, why it came up, because they were finally, you know, their book was finally being released. He was going to Akihabara to go to the store to pretty much, you know, I guess see how good his book was, because it's not like he signed them or anything, but it was pretty cool to see how they first met, how they first started talking, how it slowly got more and more, you know, how they, you know, slowly connected more and more. It was also pretty cool to see their parents as well, honestly, because we've never really seen them at all. But it was pretty cool to see, you know, Masamune's dad. He's a pretty damn laid back, cool guy. He was always supporting him throughout the way. And you gotta admit, Sagiri's mom is literally just an older Sagiri, honestly. And it was pretty funny to see how she acted. And I mean, like, if that's how Sagiri looks in the future, you know what, go for Sagiri, I guess, because she definitely does look good. I'm not gonna lie, the mom looks pretty damn good. Sucks that she, of course, you know, ends up passing away. That's another big impact that it shows in this episode, because without them, a lot of the things that happened in getting them together would not have happened either. Sure, they talked of and everything, but if they, you know, her mother and his father never got together, they probably would have never pretty much, you know, probably would never met in person, honestly. And because of everything that goes in this one, you do see that they decide to go, you know, start to be more professional in their dreams and everything. And their dream is, of course, to make a story together. And of course, that dream does come true in this episode. Now, this is the part where you can kind of see that Sagiri, she obviously already knew that Masamune was that person that she had a connection with, because she starts talking about his first story and everything. She obviously was that person. Does Masamune know? Not really too sure on that part, because during, you know, when he's talking to her when they were younger, she pretty much said she was a college student. So he might not know still yet, though the very end when she said their dream came true, that may have, and he was like, oh, that may have been like he just figured it out right there and then. Not really too sure, but you can definitely see why at least they, you know, had ended up having feelings for each other, because of that connection, because pretty much without each other, they literally would not be where they are today. And I did enjoy that aspect and kind of showing of why they ended up, you know, where they are and how they feel about each other in this one. And why, of course, you know, I've been wondering for a while as well, why does, you know, Masamune, why would he, after you even hear him talk about Elf and how he didn't, if he didn't love someone already, he would probably have been in love with her already. And you can already see as well, like, if it wasn't for, you know, Sagiri, he'd probably be in love with Muramasa. That's a possibility as well. So I've always wondered why he would pick Sagiri over the other two, and you can kind of see it in this episode. So I did enjoy at least that they did have this kind of like this flashback and, you know, backstory to at least kind of explain why it got to this point for them. And I'm not gonna lie, I still rather have Elf as, you know, who he ends up with, but at least after this episode you kind of have at least like, oh, okay, that's why they do. I get it, I understand, honestly. And it is cute. I'm not gonna lie, it is cute. It's like they've pretty much been together their whole lives, kind of thing. They have this connection, like I said, the red string of fate kind of thing, fate kind of thing throughout since they were little. So I did enjoy that part of it. And then of course the end of the episode, come on. I honestly, it was expected in a way, because we already saw the Kureneko cameo, but I didn't know if it was going to be this episode or going to be the next episode. But I had a feeling they were probably going to have a cameo with the rest of the Orimo cast, and it was pretty cool to see all of them there and see pretty much them arguing about his book. So you can kind of, it's always cool to see when you have like a cameo of another, you know, doesn't have to be an anime, it could be a movie, it could be a show or something. And when you see a cameo, because they are in the same universe, it's always pretty damn cool to see, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, that's all I really gotta say about this episode. I'm definitely excited to see how the next episode ends up going, since that is the last episode. Will we get a season 2? Or like how, you know, just will he pick up girl or something, or will it just end with like a cliffhanger and kind of, you know, how a lot of animes do, pretty much promotion for their, you know, the light novel and everything. Will I go ahead and read it? Definitely a high chance, considering I have enjoyed the series so far, and it will be cool to continue it if there is no second season. If there's a second season, definitely going to watch it, because I want to see how everything goes, because there's always a slight chance that he doesn't end up with Sagiri, he does end up with Elf or, you know, Muramasa, and I would just watch the series just to see more Elf, honestly. I'm not going to lie, but yeah, that's all I really gotta say, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this Anime Kingdom review. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below. If anything I missed and you want to talk about, comment below as well. And if you did enjoy it, if you like, if you haven't already, feel free to subscribe for more content. And yeah, as always, guys, I want to hear your guys' thoughts. How did you feel about this episode? Good, bad, whatever you guys want. Talk about how you felt about this episode and your expectations for the next one. And if a possibility of a second season comes out as well, feel free to comment below. It's always cool to hear your guys' thoughts. But yeah, that's all I gotta say, guys. Finally caught up with all my reviews. So yeah, until next time, where the final episode will be played on Saturday, I think? Yeah, Saturday. Can't wait for that. So till next time, see ya.